The sound of wrapping paper tearing filled Andy's room, followed by an excited gasp. Andy's friends crowded around him as he held up his latest birthday present, a shiny box containing 4 highly detailed action figures. "Whoa!" Andy exclaimed, his eyes lighting up. "The Avengers! Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk! This is so cool!" He wasted no time freeing the figures from their packaging, carefully arranging them on his desk. His favorite toy, Woody, sat on the bed with the other toys, watching the scene unfold. "New guys, huh?" Woody muttered, scratching the back of his neck. "Great. More competition." Buzz Lightyear leaned against the bedpost, arms crossed. "Relax, Sheriff. They don't look like they're equipped for space travel. Probably just some comic book heroes." Woody shot him a look. "You didn't think you were a toy either when you showed up, remember?" Buzz shrugged. "Fair point." As Andy left the room to grab cake, the newcomers stirred. Iron Man's helmet lights flickered to life, and his armored joints whirred softly as he moved. Thor adjusted the grip on his tiny plastic Mjolnir, and Captain America straightened his shield. Hulk's broad green hands flexed as he growled softly. "Where are we?" Iron Man said, his mechanical voice sharp with confusion. "Jarvis, location?" Captain America scanned the room, his expression tense. "This doesn't look like New York. Is this an alien stronghold?" Thor stepped forward, his cape billowing dramatically, despite the lack of wind. "Brothers, this realm feels strange, but fear not. Wherever the threat lies, I shall vanquish it with Mjolnir." Hulk smash. "Small place," Hulk grunted, looking around in confusion. Iron Man's visor flickered as he scanned the room. His gaze landed on Woody and the other toys. "Hold on, are those hostiles?" "Hostiles?" Rex squeaked, backing up until he bumped into Mr. Potato Head. Captain America raised his shield. "Form up, Avengers! Stay alert. Thanos could be anywhere." Woody stepped forward, holding up his hands. "Hey, whoa, let's calm down here. Nobody's a hostile, okay? You're in Andy's room. We're the Avengers," Iron Man interrupted, his tone sharp. "Earth's mightiest heroes." Woody blinked. "Yeah, sure, but you're also toys. Andy's toys. So let's just..." "Toys?" Thor's voice boomed, causing Rex to yelp. "I am the mighty Thor, Prince of Asgard. I am no mere plaything." Iron Man aimed a tiny, non-functional repulsor at Woody. "Let me make this clear, cowboy. We are not toys. We are superheroes, and we have a mission to complete. So tell us, where's Thanos?" Woody sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. "Here we go again." Buzz finally stepped forward, his arms crossed. "Listen, I get it. You think you're on some big cosmic mission, but the sooner you accept that you're just a toy, the better off you'll be." Iron Man turned to him, his visor glowing faintly. "And you are?" "Buzz Lightyear, the Space Ranger," Buzz said matter-of-factly. Iron Man gave a short laugh. "Space Ranger? Cute. Do you also fight galactic overlords in your spare time?" Buzz's expression soured. "As a matter of fact, I do." Guys, Woody interjected, stepping between them. "Let's not start a turf war. Look, suit guy, you're here because Andy got you as a birthday present. Andy is your kid now, and being his toy is your purpose." "Our purpose is saving the universe," Captain America said firmly. "And if this Andy is in danger, we'll protect him. But don't ask us to believe we're something we're not." Hulk growled, his plastic fists raised. "Hulk, no like cowboy." "Well, Hulk," Woody snapped, his patience fraying. "Cowboy no like big green guy either." Before things could escalate further, Thor stepped between them, his deep voice commanding attention. Enough! We waste time bickering while Thanos gathers the Infinity Stones. We must act now. Agreed, Iron Man said. Avengers, assemble. The 4 action figures sprang into action, leaping off the desk and scattering around the room. Thor swung Mjolnir at the lamp, declaring it a potential space beacon, while Hulk began pulling at the drawers of Andy's dresser, muttering about finding Big Purple Guy. Woody watched in horror as Captain America climbed onto the bookshelf, shouting orders to an unimpressed Slinky dog. "You've got to be kidding me," Woody groaned. Buzz smirked, leaning against the bedpost. "You were saying." The room was in chaos. Thor stood atop Andy's lamp, raising Mjolnir high as he declared, "This beacon shall call forth the Asgardian forces to aid us in our quest." His cape flared dramatically as he struck the lampshade with his hammer, causing it to wobble dangerously. "Will you get down from there?" Woody shouted, waving his arms. Meanwhile, Hulk had pulled open one of Andy's dresser drawers, tossing socks and t-shirts across the room as he growled, "Hulk, find Thanos." Mr. Potato Head dodged a flying sock, glaring at Woody. "Can you get your new friends under control?" "I'm working on it," Woody snapped, running toward the drawer. On the bed, Captain America was busy interrogating Rex, who cowered under the plastic shield. "Where's Thanos?" Cap demanded. "I don't even know who that is," Rex wailed, his tail thumping nervously against the bedspread. Iron Man hovered in front of Buzz, his repulsor aimed at the Space Ranger's chest. "If you're really a Space Ranger, then you'll help us locate the Infinity Stones," he said coolly. Buzz crossed his arms, unimpressed. "I think you're malfunctioning. You're not saving the universe. You're in Andy's room, surrounded by his toys, because you're one of us." "Malfunctioning?" Iron Man scoffed. "That's rich, coming from a guy who thinks he's a galactic ranger when he's clearly just a glorified action figure." Buzz bristled. "At least I've accepted the truth." Woody climbed onto Andy's desk, where Thor was still perched on the lamp. "Hey, Shakespeare in the Park," Woody said, trying to get his attention. "This isn't a beacon, it's a lamp, and if you keep swinging that hammer, you're gonna break it." Thor turned to him, his expression stern. "You, mortal, cannot comprehend the importance of our mission. Thanos gathers the Infinity Stones even as we speak. If we do not act, all will be lost." Woody threw up his hands. "There are no Infinity Stones, there's no Thanos. You're in a kid's room and you're a toy." Thor frowned, his grip tightening on Mjolnir. "A toy?" "Yes, a toy," Woody repeated. "Andy plays with you. That's your purpose." Thor looked at Mjolnir, then back at Woody. "If I were a mere toy, would I possess the mighty power of—" He swung his hammer dramatically, striking the lampshade again. The lamp toppled off the desk, landing with a loud crash. Woody groaned, rubbing his temples. "This is worse than Buzz." Captain America jumped down from the bed, his shield clutched tightly. "Enough," he said, his commanding tone silencing the room. "If this cowboy thinks we're toys, it's because Thanos has already begun manipulating reality." "Oh, for Pete's sake!" Woody exclaimed. Captain America turned to the other toys, addressing them like a battalion. "Listen up, soldiers. I know you've been living in this base thinking you're safe, but the truth is, the universe is at stake. We need your help to stop Thanos before it's too late." Slinky Dog tilted his head. "Thanos? What kind of name is that?" "He's a big purple guy with a weird chin," Hulk grumbled, tossing a pair of Andy's sneakers over his shoulder. "Oh, you mean Sid?" Rex offered nervously. All eyes turned to him. "Who's Sid?" Iron Man asked. "Sid's Andy's neighbor," Woody said quickly. "But he's not Thanos. He's just a kid who—" doesn't treat his toys very nicely. Captain America narrowed his eyes. Sounds like someone who needs to be stopped. Woody stepped in front of him, hands raised. No. We do not go to Sid's house, trust me. It's a terrible idea. Woody's right, Buzz added. Sid's dangerous. You don't want to get involved with him. But Captain America wasn't listening. He turned to his team, his expression grim. This Sid could be working with Thanos. If he's destroying toys, he might already have an Infinity Stone. Iron Man nodded. It's a logical theory. We need to investigate. Woody's jaw dropped. What? No. That's not logical. It's insane. Thor raised Mjolnir. Then it is settled. We shall journey to this Sid and put an end to his treachery. Hulk slammed his fists together. Hulk smashed Sid. The Avengers began to strategize, completely ignoring Woody's protests. He turned to Buzz, his face a mask of desperation. You've got to talk some sense into them. Buzz sighed, shaking his head. I tried. They're not ready to hear it yet. Woody slumped against the desk, muttering, Andy's never buying action figures again. Andy's room looked more like a battlefield than a peaceful playroom. Socks, books, and board game pieces were strewn across the floor, casualties of Hulk's relentless search for Thanos. Rex cowered under Andy's bed, clutching his tail, while Mr. Potato Head and Ham huddled near the dresser. Look, I told you everything I know, Rex wailed, as Captain America stood before him, shield at the ready. I don't even know who Thanos is. I'm just a dinosaur. Just a dinosaur? Cap repeated, his voice grim. You have sharp teeth, a long tail, and an excellent vantage point under this bed. You're not just a dinosaur, you're our intelligence expert. Hulk peered under the bed, his wide green face filling the space. Rex, help Hulk find Thanos. Rex shrieked and darted further into the shadows. Woody, help me! Woody stormed over, shoving his way between Captain America and Hulk. Okay, that's enough. Leave him alone, he's terrified. Captain America frowned. We're all terrified, cowboy. But fear is no excuse for inaction. Fear is an excuse for hiding under a bed if you're a toy, Woody snapped. Woody's right, Rex chimed in from the shadows. Listen to him. Nearby, Iron Man hovered in front of Slinky Dog, his repulsors glowing faintly. You're stretchy, Iron Man said, his tone analytical. That's an impressive tactical advantage. How far can you stretch? Slinky tilted his head. I'm not sure. Andy usually just pulls me a few feet to fling me at things. Iron Man stroked his chin, his faceplate reflecting the faint light. With the right modifications, you could be a formidable weapon. Hey, Woody called, stomping toward him. No modifying Slinky Dog. Iron Man turned to Woody, his tone dry. Relax, cowboy. I'm not taking him apart, yet. Yet, Slinky yelped, snapping back into his normal shape. Across the room, Thor stood before Buzz Lightyear, holding Mjolnir aloft. You, Guardian of the Stars, Thor declared. Prove yourself worthy of your title. Lift Mjolnir, and show that you are no mere mortal. Buzz regarded the hammer skeptically, his helmet sliding down with a quiet whoosh. Your technology is crude, Thor. Surely a man of science could explain the physics of this hammer. Thor grinned. It is no mere hammer. Mjolnir is imbued with the magic of Asgard. Only the worthy may lift it. Buzz raised an eyebrow. Magic. Please. There's a scientific explanation for everything. Allow me. He reached for Mjolnir, gripping the handle firmly. He pulled and pulled again. The hammer didn't budge. Thor's grin widened. You are strong, Lightyear, but not strong enough. Perhaps in time you will prove your worth. Buzz crossed his arms, glaring. Perhaps in time you'll realize your hammer is just a cleverly weighted toy. Thor laughed heartily, clapping Buzz on the shoulder. I like your spirit, Lightyear. Perhaps you would make a fine Asgardian after all. Buzz stared at him, unsure whether to feel flattered or insulted. As the Avengers continued their antics, Woody climbed onto the dresser, waving his arms to get everyone's attention. All right, listen up, he yelled. You're all tearing this room apart and I've had enough. There is no Thanos. There are no Infinity Stones. You're just toys. Iron Man crossed his arms, floating a few feet off the ground. And I suppose you expect us to believe you're not hiding something? Woody's jaw dropped. Hiding something? Why would I be hiding something? Because you're awfully defensive, Iron Man said, his visor glowing faintly. That's exactly how someone working with Thanos would act. Woody threw his hat on the floor in frustration. I'm defensive because you're turning Andy's room into a disaster zone. Captain America stepped forward, his tone firm. Enough. We don't have time to argue. Every second we waste here is a second Thanos gets closer to victory. We need to act. Thor raised Mjolnir. Then we shall strike at the heart of this darkness. Let us journey to this Sid's domain. Woody groaned. No, no, no. Nobody's going to Sid's house. He's not Thanos. He's just a kid who likes to blow up toys. And yet, Captain America said, his gaze steely, he could be a pawn in Thanos' game. Or Thanos himself in disguise, Iron Man added. Hulk slammed his fists together. Hulk smashed Sid. Woody threw up his hands. I give up. Go ahead. Get yourselves blown up. See if I care. The Avengers took his resignation as a green light. They began rallying the other toys, convincing Slinky, Rex, and even Ham to join their mission. Only Buzz stayed behind, shaking his head. You should stop them, Buzz said to Woody. You know what Sid's capable of. Woody crossed his arms, frowning. Why don't you stop them? Buzz hesitated, glancing toward Thor, who was busy training Rex to roar louder. Because I kind of want to see how this plays out. The Avengers and their reluctant allies marched toward the window, their makeshift army ready for action. Woody watched helplessly as they disappeared into the night, his voice heavy with dread. This is going to be a disaster, he muttered. Buzz leaned against the dresser, smirking. On the bright side, at least they're enthusiastic. Woody glared at him. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Buzz shrugged. A little. The line of toys marching across Andy's backyard was an unusual sight, to say the least. Leading the charge were the Avengers, each carrying themselves with the poise and purpose of true heroes. Or so they thought. Captain America strode confidently at the front, shield held high. Stay together, team, he said, glancing back at the toys trailing behind. Unity is our greatest weapon. Behind him, Thor swung Mjolnir in wide arcs, accidentally knocking over a lawn gnome. A mighty army we are assembling, he boomed. With such strength, not even Thanos shall stand against us. Slinky Dog stretched to catch up with the front of the line. Thor? Maybe keep the hammer swings to a minimum? Some of us aren't as durable as you. Thor grinned. Worry not, valiant hound. I shall protect you. Slinky gave a nervous chuckle, but stayed a step further back. Further down the line, Hulk walked with Rex, who was attempting to muster his courage. Hulk smash Thanos? Hulk asked, his plastic face scrunched in concentration. I think so, Rex stammered. But what if he smashes us first? Hulk let out a deep growl. Hulk no like when people smash Hulk's friends. Rex blinked. Friends? You think we're friends? Hulk nodded. You scared, but brave. Hulk like brave friends. Rex's nervousness didn't vanish completely, but a small smile tugged at his lips. Thanks, Hulk. I'll, try to be brave. At the back of the group, Woody and Buzz trailed behind, their faces set in identical expressions of exasperation. This is a disaster waiting to happen, Woody muttered, watching as Thor attempted to teach Ham how to wield Mjolnir. Buzz nodded. I'm inclined to agree, but I'll admit, Thor's motivational speeches are surprisingly effective. Woody shot him a look. You're not seriously impressed by them, are you? Buzz shrugged. There's something about his confidence. He doesn't waver. It's inspiring, even if it's completely delusional. Woody groaned. Great. Now I have to deal with two delusional space guys. Ahead, Captain America paused, his hand raised to signal a stop. The toys froze, looking around nervously as the wind rustled the grass. What is it? Iron Man asked, his repulsors glowing faintly. Cap narrowed his eyes. Something's not right. We're too exposed out here. Thanos could ambush us at any moment. Woody threw up his hands. There's no ambush. There's no Thanos. You're all just walking straight into Sid's backyard, and when he finds you... A loud bark cut him off. The toys turned to see Scud, Sid's vicious dog, standing at the edge of the yard. Its sharp teeth gleamed in the moonlight as it growled, stalking toward them. Woody, Buzz said, his voice tight. Maybe you should focus on the threat we do have. Scud barked again, lunging forward. The toys scattered, some diving into the tall grass, while others climbed onto the nearest objects they could find. Hulk smash dog, Hulk roared, stepping between Scud and the toys. Woody's eyes widened. Hulk, no, he's not a toy, he's an actual dog. But Hulk was undeterred. He raised his plastic fists and let out a growl of his own. Scud paused, momentarily confused by the strange green figure challenging him. Quick thinking, Buzz said, nodding at Hulk. Not helping, Woody snapped, pulling Rex toward the tall grass. Captain America jumped onto a garden shovel, using it to spring into the air and land in front of Hulk. We'll handle this together, he said, his shield at the ready. Thor joined them, Mjolnir raised high. Fear not, friends. This beast shall fall before our might. Iron Man hovered above, his repulsors glowing brighter. Target acquired, engaging. Woody buried his face in his hands. This is insane. The Avengers launched into action, each toy doing their best to subdue Scud. Iron Man flew in tight circles around the dog's head, distracting him with bursts of light from his non-functional repulsors. Thor leapt onto Scud's back, shouting, "To Asgard!" as the dog bucked wildly. Hulk grabbed onto Scud's collar, holding on with surprising strength as the dog tried to shake him loose. "Hulk ride dog," he yelled. Scud spun in circles, barking and snapping at the strange toys clinging to him. Finally, he shook them off, growling low as he eyed the scattered toys. Woody stepped forward, waving his arms. "Over here, boy, come on." Scud turned toward him, and Woody darted toward a pile of junk in Sid's yard, drawing the dog away from the others. Buzz joined him, sliding down a piece of scrap metal to land beside Woody. "Nice diversion," Buzz said. "Not the time," Woody snapped, grabbing Buzz's arm and pulling him behind a rusted box. Eventually, Scud lost interest and wandered back towards Sid's house. The toys regrouped, their plastic bodies scuffed but intact. "Is everyone okay?" Captain America asked, looking around. "We're fine," Woody said through gritted teeth. "No thanks to you." Hulk patted Rex on the back. "You brave." Rex smiled weakly. "Thanks, I think." Thor clapped Buzz on the shoulder, grinning. "You fight well, Lightyear. Truly, you are a warrior worthy of legend." Buzz hesitated, then nodded. "And you, are surprisingly effective for a hammer-wielding toy." Thor laughed heartily, clearly taking it as a compliment. Woody sighed, rubbing his temples. "Can we just get this over with before Sid shows up?" Captain America nodded, his expression serious. "Agreed. Let's move out. We have a mission to complete." The toys crept through the tangled mess of Sid's backyard, ducking behind piles of rusted junk and scorched debris. The faint sound of Sid's laughter echoed from his bedroom window, accompanied by the muffled explosion of yet another unfortunate toy meeting its doom. Thor hefted Mjolnir, his expression grim. "This place reeks of villainy," he declared, scanning the yard. "Surely this Sid must be in league with Thanos. Or he's just a kid with a fireworks problem," Woody muttered, keeping low as they moved closer to the house. Captain America motioned for the group to halt. "All right, team, listen up," he said, his voice low but firm. "We're entering enemy territory. Stay alert, stay together, and remember the mission. Locate the Infinity Stones and neutralize Thanos." Woody threw up his hands. "There are no Infinity Stones, and you're not neutralizing anything. We're here because you dragged us here." "Focus, cowboy," Iron Man said, his visor glowing faintly as he scanned the yard. "We've got movement ahead." All eyes turned to a haphazard pile of broken toys, shifting in the shadows. Thor raised Mjolnir, prepared to strike, but Woody stepped forward, his hands raised. "Wait, those are Sid's toys," Woody said. "They're not like us, but they're not a threat." The pile of toys shifted again, and one by one Sid's mutant creations emerged. A one-eyed doll with spider-like legs clicked forward, followed by a toy soldier mounted on a skateboard. The other toys froze, staring in silent curiosity at the Avengers. "What are these?" Captain America asked, lowering his shield slightly. "Victims," Woody said softly. "Sid doesn't play with them. He destroys them. They've been through a lot." Thor frowned, lowering his hammer. "These poor souls, they have suffered greatly. This Sid must answer for his crimes." Iron Man hovered closer, his repulsors dimmed. "We were expecting Thanos, but this is worse than I thought. This is twisted." Hulk growled softly, his broad green hands clenching into fists. "Hulk smashed Sid?" "No," Woody barked, glaring at the group. "Nobody's smashing Sid. Look, I know you think you're here to save the world, but you're not. You're here because Andy bought you to be his toys." The Avengers exchanged uncertain glances. "You don't get it, do you?" Woody continued, his tone softening. "You're not meant to save the universe. You're meant to make Andy happy. That's your job. That's your purpose." Thor frowned, gripping Mjolnir tightly. "Are you saying we abandon our destiny? That we, the Avengers, forsake our duty?" "I'm saying your duty isn't what you think it is," Woody said. "Andy needs you. You're his heroes now, not the universe's." Captain America looked down at his shield, his expression conflicted. "But if we're not heroes, then who are we?" "You are heroes," Woody said, "but not the kind who fight aliens or stop Thanos. You're the kind who make a kid's day better, who inspire him to imagine and dream. That's more important than any battle." The silence was heavy as the words sank in. Finally, Iron Man spoke, his tone less sharp than usual. "I don't know, cowboy. Saving the world feels a lot more straightforward than making some kid happy." "It's not easy," Woody admitted, "but trust me, it's worth it." Sid's laughter rang out again, followed by the sound of something crashing. The toys flinched, their attention snapping back to the house. Captain America stepped forward, his shield raised. "All right, team, new mission. Get everyone out of here safely and return to Andy's room. Let's go." The Avengers moved with surprising efficiency, helping the mutant toys retreat further into the yard. Thor used Mjolnir to knock down a broken fence panel, creating an escape route, while Hulk carefully lifted debris to free trapped toys. Iron Man hovered above the group, using his repulsors to light the way for Rex and Slinky Dog. Buzz and Woody exchanged a glance as they watched. "Well," Buzz said, "I guess they're learning." Woody crossed his arms, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Yeah, they'll figure it out." By the time the toys made it back to Andy's yard, the tension had faded, replaced by camaraderie. Thor clapped Hulk on the back, praising his strength, while Iron Man and Buzz debated the finer points of space travel. Captain America approached Woody, his expression thoughtful. "I don't know if we're ready to let go of the idea of being heroes," he said. "You don't have to," Woody replied. "Just think of it this way. Andy's your world now. Be heroes for him." Cap nodded slowly. "For Andy," he said, a small smile breaking through his usual stoicism. As the toys climbed back into Andy's room, the Avengers seemed lighter, more at ease. Thor placed Mjolnir on Andy's nightstand with a sense of pride, while Hulk gently set Rex down by the bed. Woody watched them settle in, his expression softening. "Welcome to the family," he said. Iron Man glanced at him, his tone dry but sincere. "Don't get used to it, cowboy. We're still figuring this toy thing out." Woody chuckled. "You'll be fine, trust me." As the first rays of sunlight crept into the room, the Avengers stood watch over their new world, Andy's world. They might not have defeated Thanos, but they had found a purpose, and that was victory enough. The early morning sun cast a golden glow over Andy's room as the toys slowly came to life. Rex stretched his short arms, yawning as he shuffled over to Slinky Dog. Ham rubbed his snout, blinking at the Avengers, who were already in a heated discussion near the window. "I still say the purple dinosaur's hiding something," Iron Man said, nodding toward Rex. "That tail alone could be a weapon." "Weapon?" Rex yelped, shrinking behind Ham. "Stand down, Stark," Captain America said firmly, placing a hand on Iron Man's shoulder. "The real threat is out there." He pointed dramatically out the window towards Sid's house. Thor peered outside, his expression grave. "Indeed, I sense a great darkness emanating from that dwelling. It reeks of destruction and treachery." "You're smelling Sid's garbage," Woody said dryly, approaching the group. Iron Man crossed his arms, glancing at Woody. "And you're still denying what's obvious. This Sid is clearly Thanos in disguise." Woody rolled his eyes. "For the last time, Sid isn't Thanos. He's just a kid who likes to blow up toys." "Exactly," Thor boomed, raising Mjolnir. "A heinous act deserving of our intervention. If he destroys toys, what's to stop him from acquiring an Infinity Stone and destroying worlds?" "Probably the fact that he's not a cosmic overlord," Woody muttered. Buzz joined the group, leaning casually against the windowsill. "As much as I hate to admit it, I think Woody has a point. Sid is dangerous, yes, but he's not Thanos, and the last time you intervened, we barely escaped Scud with our parts intact." Hulk growled softly from the corner. Hulk no like dog. Captain America turned to Buzz, his tone measured but firm. "With all due respect, Lightyear, can we afford to take that chance? If Sid is Thanos, or if he's working with him, every second we delay puts this world at risk." Buzz hesitated, glancing at Woody. "Well," Woody threw up his hands. "Oh, come on. You're not actually considering this, are you?" Before Buzz could respond, a loud bang echoed from Sid's yard. The toys rushed to the window, peering out to see Sid cackling as he lit the fuse on a firework. Strapped to the firework was an unfortunate toy soldier, its rigid plastic arms flailing as the fuse burned down. "Great Scott!" Ham exclaimed. "That kid's got more screws loose than Mr. Potato Head." "Hey," Potato Head protested. Thor's expression darkened as he gripped Mjolnir tightly. "The evidence is clear. This Sid is an enemy of toys. If he is not Thanos, then he is a servant of his will." Iron Man's visor glowed faintly as he scanned the yard. "Agreed. That firework could be a test run for a larger weapon. We need to act." "No, you don't," Woody said, stepping between them and the window. "What you need to do is stay here and leave Sid alone. Let him blow up his own toys. It's not our problem." "It is now," Captain America said, his tone resolute. The Avengers turned to Buzz, awaiting his decision. Woody looked at him expectantly, hoping he'd side with reason. Buzz frowned, clearly conflicted. Finally, he sighed. "If Sid is a threat, we can't just stand by and do nothing." "Are you kidding me?" Woody exclaimed. "Relax, Woody," Buzz said. "We'll make sure they don't cause too much damage." "You're assuming they can be controlled," Woody muttered. Captain America clapped Buzz on the shoulder. "Glad to have you on board, Lightyear. Let's move out." Thor raised Mjolnir, a wide grin spreading across his face. "To battle." As the Avengers and their reluctant allies began preparing for the mission, Woody shook his head, muttering under his breath, "This is a terrible idea. A terrible, terrible idea." Sid's backyard was a labyrinth of junk, scattered tools, and ominous scorch marks. The fence cast long shadows in the late afternoon light, and a faint smell of smoke lingered in the air. The Avengers huddled behind a pile of rusted car parts, surveying the scene with exaggerated intensity. Thor raised Mjolnir, his face grim. "This domain reeks of malice. Surely Thanos resides here." "It reeks because it's full of trash," Woody muttered, crouching beside him. "You know, like the plan you cooked up?" Captain America ignored him, addressing the group in a low, commanding voice. "All right, team. We go in fast and quiet. Hulk, you take the left flank. Thor, cover the right. Iron Man, keep eyes in the sky. Buzz, stay with me. The rest of you, hold the line and wait for my signal. You do realize we're just trying not to get caught by Sid, right?" Woody said. "There's no signal, no flank, no—" Cap turned to him, his voice steady but firm. "With all due respect, Sheriff, leave the strategy to the professionals." Woody groaned. "You're toys. What strategy?" Iron Man took to the air, or rather hovered a foot off the ground, his repulsors buzzing softly. Scans show no sign of Thanos, yet, but keep your guard up, he could be hiding. Thor tightened his grip on Mjolnir, his cape catching a light breeze. "Fear not, comrades, I shall smite him when he reveals himself." "Hulk smash when ready," Hulk grumbled, cracking his knuckles. Woody grabbed Buzz by the arm, pulling him aside. "This is insane," he hisses. "They're going to get us all caught, or worse, turned into one of Sid's experiments." Buzz sighed. "Look, I get it. Their approach is unorthodox, but they mean well." Woody glared at him. "Meaning well doesn't matter when you're strapped to a firework." The team began to move deeper into the yard, stepping over broken toys and charred debris. Every noise seemed amplified. The creak of a loose board, the rustle of grass in the wind. At the far end of the yard, Sid crouched near his workbench, his back turned to the toys as he tinkered with a new contraption. Sparks flew as he pressed a soldering iron to a mangled piece of metal. Nearby, Scud dozed in a patch of sunlight, his ears twitching occasionally. Captain America raised a hand, signaling for the group to stop. "There's our target," he whispered, pointing to Sid. "We'll need to neutralize him before he can activate whatever device he's building." Woody's eyes went wide. "Neutralize? He's just a kid." Thor frowned, looking to Cap. "Perhaps we should smite his creation instead. Cut off the serpent's head, as it were." Iron Man tilted his head. "I could rig a diversion, draw him out, then take out the device." Or, Woody interjected, "we could go back to Andy's room and pretend this never happened." Hulk growled softly, his eyes locked on Scud. "Dog move, Hulk smash." "No smashing," Woody snapped, exasperated. Cap waved for silence. "Everyone, hold position, let me assess." The plan unraveled almost immediately. Thor, unable to resist the opportunity for heroics, leapt onto Sid's workbench, raising Mjolnir high. "Villain," he bellowed, his voice booming, "your reign of terror ends here." Sid jumped, dropping his soldering iron, as he stared in disbelief at the tiny toy. "What the?" Iron Man groaned, flying up to the bench. "Thor, we talked about stealth." "Stealth is the refuge of cowards," Thor replied. "I fight with honor." Sid's shock turned to curiosity as he reached for Thor. "Cool, a talking action figure." "No, no, no," Woody muttered, running forward. "This is bad. This is really bad." Scud, alerted by the commotion, lifted his head, his nose twitching, his eyes locked onto the moving toys, and his ears perked up. "Oh no," Buzz said, his voice tight. "We've got a problem." Scud barked, jumping to his feet and barreling toward the group. The ground shook beneath his massive paws, and the toys scattered in all directions. "Hulk smash dog now?" Hulk asked, his fists raised. "Yes, smash dog," Woody yelled, finally giving in to the chaos. Hulk charged at Scud, letting out a mighty growl. The dog skidded to a halt, momentarily startled by the tiny green figure. Hulk grabbed Scud's collar, pulling with all his might as the dog tried to shake him loose. "Run!" Woody shouted, waving the other toys toward the fence. Captain America and Buzz worked together to help the mutant toys escape, while Iron Man flew interference, zipping around Scud's head to keep him distracted. Thor, meanwhile, remained on the workbench, defiantly standing his ground. "You shall not prevail, Thanos, or whatever form you take." Sid reached for Thor again, his grin widening. "You're awesome. You're coming with me." "Not today," Woody shouted, leaping onto the workbench and tackling Thor out of Sid's grasp. The two tumbled to the ground, landing in a heap beside the bench. Thor frowned as he dusted himself off. "That was unnecessary, Sheriff." "You're welcome," Woody muttered. The toys finally made it back to the fence, scrambling through the hole Thor had created earlier. Scud barked and clawed at the gap, but the group was safely out of reach. Captain America turned to the group, his expression grim. "That could have gone better." "Could have gone worse," Iron Man added, dusting off his armor. "Couldn't have gone worse," Woody muttered, collapsing onto the grass. Buzz helped Woody to his feet, glancing at the Avengers. "They might be hopeless," he said, "but they're not cowards." Woody sighed. "Yeah, I'll give them that much." As the group regrouped in Andy's yard, the Avengers exchanged glances, their heroic fervor dimmed but not extinguished. Captain America finally spoke, his voice quieter than usual. "Maybe the cowboy's right. Maybe this isn't our fight." Thor frowned but nodded reluctantly. "It is strange, but perhaps this Andy holds a purpose we have yet to see." Hulk grunted softly. "Hulk no like dog." Woody chuckled despite himself. Maybe you're not so bad after all. Sid crouched by his workbench, holding a charred fireworks stub in one hand and an oversized wrench in the other. His sharp eyes scanned the yard, lingering on the rustling grass near the fence. Did something move over there? He muttered to himself, tossing the wrench aside with a clang. Scud growled, his ears twitching as his nose picked up a familiar scent. The dog barked twice and charged toward the fence, his powerful frame shaking the ground with each step. "Scud, what is it, boy?" Sid called, following close behind. On the other side of the fence, the toys were scrambling to regroup. Woody waved his arms, his voice a frantic whisper. "Come on, we've got to move before he sees us." Captain America held his shield tightly, his jaw set. "No, we can't leave yet. We've got to protect the others." "Protect them from what?" Woody snapped. "From Sid? He's not Thanos, he's just a kid." "Exactly," Cap said. "A dangerous kid. And dangerous kids grow into dangerous adults. If we stop him now..." "Oh, save it!" Woody cut him off. "The only thing you're stopping is us from getting back to Andy's room in one piece." Iron Man hovered a few feet above the group, his repulsors glowing faintly. Guys, hate to interrupt, but we've got a problem." They turned to see Scud's face, looming above the fence, his slobbering jaws snapping at the air. Behind him, Sid's footsteps grew louder as he approached. "This is bad," Buzz muttered. "This is worse than bad," Woody said, grabbing Buzz's arm. "We need to..." Scud's paw swiped at the fence, breaking apart the fragile planks. The hole widened, leaving nothing between the dog and the toys. Hulk stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. "Hulk smash, dog." "No smashing," Woody shouted, his voice cracking with exasperation. Scud lunged, his jaws snapping at Hulk. The green action figure caught the dog's collar, holding on with all his might as the dog thrashed wildly. "Hulk ride dog again," Hulk shouted, clinging tightly. "Hulk's insane," Woody muttered, ducking behind a rusted pipe. Sid finally spotted the toys, his eyes widening with a mix of shock and excitement. "No way," he exclaimed, racing toward the group. "New toys in my yard? And they move? This is gonna be awesome." Captain America stepped into Sid's path, holding his shield firmly. "Stand down, Thanos," he called, his voice commanding. Sid laughed, reaching for Cap. "Oh man, you're even cooler up close." Thor leapt between them, swinging Mjolnir in a wide arc. "You shall not lay a finger on my comrades, villain." Sid ducked, narrowly avoiding the hammer. "Whoa, a Thor toy too? This is the best day ever." "Focus, Thor," Cap shouted. "We're under attack." Thor swung Mjolnir again, this time striking a pile of scrap metal. The clang echoed across the yard, startling Scud. The dog shook Hulk loose, sending him tumbling into the dirt. Woody ran to help him up, muttering, "This is why I said no smashing." Hulk grunted, brushing himself off. Hulk, no like dog. Iron Man zipped around Sid's head, his repulsors flashing harmless bursts of light. "Over here, kid," he taunted. "Bet you can't catch me." Sid swatted at him, his grin widening. "Oh, I'll catch you all right." Meanwhile, Buzz and Thor worked to create a distraction. Buzz activated his laser, the red LED blinking furiously. Thor raised Mjolnir, his cape billowing dramatically. "Come, Lightyear," Thor boomed. "Together we shall vanquish this foe." Buzz hesitated. "Vanquish? He's just a kid." Thor grinned. "A mighty foe, nonetheless." Buzz sighed. "Fine, let's get this over with." The two charged at Sid, their coordinated attack forcing him to stumble backward. In the chaos, Woody and Rex managed to gather the other toys, ushering them toward the fence. "Come on," Woody called. "We've got to get out of here before they—" A shadow loomed over them. Scud snarled, his jaws snapping inches away. "Woody!" Rex squealed, frozen in fear. Hulk appeared, stepping between Scud and the toys. He planted his feet firmly, raising his fists. Hulk, protect friends. Before Woody could protest, Hulk let out a roar and slammed his fists into the ground. The vibration startled Scud, sending the dog scrambling backward with a confused whimper. "Hulk smash!" Hulk shouted triumphantly. Woody stared, his mouth hanging open. "I can't believe that actually worked." Buzz and Thor returned, each looking slightly worse for wear. "The kid is relentless," Buzz muttered, his wings slightly bent. Thor grinned, patting Buzz on the back. "You fought valiantly, Lightyear." Woody rolled his eyes. "Can we please go now?" The toys finally made it back to Andy's yard, collapsing in the safety of the grass. Scud barked once more from the fence but didn't follow. Captain America looked around, his expression somber. "We failed to defeat the enemy." Woody groaned. "You didn't fail. You succeeded in not getting destroyed. That's a win in my book." Iron Man hovered above, his voice dry. "Well, cowboy, looks like we're learning from the best." Thor sat cross-legged, holding Mjolnir thoughtfully. "Perhaps this realm does not require warriors like us. Perhaps our purpose lies elsewhere." Buzz nodded. "It's about time you figured that out." Hulk patted Rex on the back. "Hulk like brave Dino." Rex grinned nervously. "Thanks, Hulk, I think." As the group settled back into Andy's room, the Avengers seemed more at ease. Woody watched them with a mix of exasperation and amusement. "You're not so bad," he admitted, "for action figures." Captain America smiled faintly. "Thanks, Sheriff." Iron Man crossed his arms. "Don't get used to it, cowboy." Buzz chuckled, glancing at Woody. "They're coming around." "Yeah," Woody said. "I think we all are." The late evening sun cast long shadows across Andy's room, as the toys finally relaxed after their chaotic day. Woody leaned against a book, his hat pulled low over his eyes. Rex sat near the bed, excitedly recounting Hulk's showdown with Scud to Ham and Mr. Potato Head. "And then he just slammed his fists into the ground and the dog ran off," Rex said, his tail wagging enthusiastically. "It was amazing." Yeah, Mr. Potato Head said, unimpressed. "Next time, let me know when the big green guy takes on a vacuum cleaner." Hulk grunted from the corner. "Hulk no like vacuum." Buzz and Thor stood near Andy's window, quietly discussing strategy. Thor twirled Mjolnir absent-mindedly, while Buzz's wings occasionally twitched. "You've got to learn to dial it down," Buzz was saying. "Heroism isn't just about smashing things." Thor laughed heartily, clapping Buzz on the back. "Nonsense. To smash is to protect. To strike is to inspire." Buzz sighed. "We'll work on it." As the room grew quieter, Woody stood glancing toward the Avengers. "Well, looks like you all finally settled down. Maybe now we can—" A loud creak interrupted him. All the toys froze, their gazes snapping toward Andy's door. The door opened slowly, revealing a familiar silhouette. Sid crept into the room, his wiry frame illuminated by the hallway light. He carried a small flashlight, its beam sweeping across Andy's toys. "What's he doing here?" Woody hissed, ducking behind the desk. Captain America stepped forward, his shield in hand. "Looks like the enemy has crossed into our territory." "Sid's not the enemy," Woody whispered furiously. "He's just a kid." "A kid who destroys toys," Iron Man interrupted, his voice low. Thor's grip tightened on Mjolnir. "He seeks to plunder this realm. We must stop him." "No," Woody said. "We stay put. If he doesn't see us move, he'll leave. But Sid had already spotted a toy on the desk, one of Andy's forgotten army men. A grin spread across his face as he reached for it. "That's Andy's," Woody said, standing up. "We can't let him take it." Thor started forward, but Captain America raised a hand to stop him. "I'll handle this," Cap said, his voice steady. Woody blinked. "You? What are you going to do? You're a toy." Cap turned to Woody, a small smile on his face. "Exactly." As Sid grabbed the army man, Cap leapt from the desk, landing with precision on the floor below. He straightened, standing tall as he faced Sid. "Put it back," Cap said, his voice firm. Sid froze, his eyes wide. "What the—" "Put the toy back," Cap repeated, stepping forward. His tiny plastic shield gleamed in the flashlight's beam. Sid laughed nervously. "You're a talking toy. That's so cool." Cap didn't flinch. "This isn't yours. It belongs to Andy. Now put it back." For a moment, Sid hesitated, glancing between Cap and the toy in his hand. But then his grin returned. "You're just a toy. What are you gonna do? Hit me with that little shield?" Cap raised the shield. "If I have to." From the shadows, the other toys watched in tense silence. "He's gonna get himself smashed," Woody whispered. "Cap's got this," Buzz said, his voice calm. Sid took a step closer, towering over the tiny figure. "Let's see how tough you really are," he said, reaching for Cap with his free hand. Cap moved swiftly, ducking under Sid's grasp and throwing his shield. It struck the flashlight, sending it spinning to the floor and plunging the room into semi-darkness. "What the?" Sid exclaimed, stumbling back. Cap retrieved his shield, standing his ground. "I said put it back." Sid glared at him, his bravado faltering. "Fine," he muttered, tossing the army man onto the desk. "Stupid toy." As Sid turned to leave, Cap called after him, "And don't come back." Sid froze for a moment, then shook his head and bolted from the room. The room erupted into cheers as the toys rushed forward, surrounding Cap. "That was incredible," Rex said, bouncing excitedly. "You just stood up to Sid like it was nothing." Hulk patted Cap on the back. "Captain Brave." Even Woody couldn't help but smile. "Okay," he admitted. "That was pretty impressive." Cap shrugged, his expression calm. "Just doing my job." Thor raised Mjolnir high, his voice booming. "A fine display of courage. Truly, you are worthy of the highest honor." Buzz nodded, his tone serious. "You proved something tonight, Cap. Being a toy doesn't mean you can't be a hero." Cap glanced at Woody, his smile faint but sincere. "Maybe the cowboy was right. Andy's our mission now, and I think we can handle it." As the toys settled back into their places, Woody leaned against Buzz, sighing. "Maybe they're not so bad after all." Buzz chuckled. "You're starting to like them, aren't you?" Woody smirked. "Don't push it, Space Ranger." The morning sunlight spilled into Andy's room, casting a warm glow over the neatly arranged toys. Andy had returned late the previous night, oblivious to the chaos that had unfolded in his absence. Now, he sat cross-legged on the floor, his eyes gleaming with excitement as he picked up one of his newest toys. "All right, Avengers," Andy said, his voice filled with dramatic flair. "It's time to save the world." Woody and Buzz watched from the dresser as Andy staged an epic battle. Iron Man soared through the air, thanks to Andy's outstretched hand, while Captain America led the charge against an imaginary enemy. Thor swung Mjolnir with theatrical precision, and Hulk smashed a plastic building block into pieces. "I have to admit," Woody said, crossing his arms, "they're good." "They're naturals," Buzz agreed, nodding. Even as toys, they're inspiring. Woody frowned. Let's not give them too much credit. They're still a little over the top. As if on cue, Andy made Thor proclaim, "By the power of Asgard, I shall smite thee," before slamming him into a pile of building blocks. Buzz smirked. You were saying? Down on the floor, Captain America glanced at Thor as they were returned to Andy's lineup. Well, Thor, Cap said, his tone light. I guess we didn't need to save the universe to be heroes. Thor grinned, hefting Mjolnir. Nonsense, Captain. Every battle is a universe unto itself, no matter how small. Andy's universe is now our charge. Hulk nodded, his green face serious. Hulk protect Andy. Iron Man leaned back against a building block, crossing his arms. Still feels weird, though, being someone's plaything instead of a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist. Cap smirked. You'll adjust, Stark. It's not so different. Andy relies on us, just like the world used to. Iron Man glanced at Andy, who was busy lining up his toys for their next mission. Yeah, he said softly. I guess I can live with that. As the day went on, Andy played with his toys, weaving an elaborate story that brought all of them together. Woody galloped in to save Rex from an exploding building block, while Buzz teamed up with Iron Man to take down an imaginary alien fleet. Thor and Hulk worked together to rebuild the destroyed Block City, their roles seamlessly integrated into Andy's world. From the dresser, Woody and Buzz exchanged a glance. I hate to admit it, Woody said, watching as Andy laughed and cheered, but they've made this place better. Buzz nodded. They've got heart, and for all their bluster, they're good at what they do. Woody sighed, a small smile tugging at his lips. Yeah, they're not so bad. That evening, as the toys returned to their spots, the Avengers joined Woody, Buzz, and the others for the first time. Thor planted Mjolnir on the desk with a sense of ceremony. Comrades, it has been an honor. Today we have fulfilled our purpose. Hulk grunted in agreement, sitting cross-legged beside Rex, Hulk like new friends. Iron Man reclined on the edge of the desk, his tone dry but sincere. Well, cowboy, looks like we're officially part of the team. Woody smirked. Welcome to the family. Just try not to blow up Andy's room, okay? Captain America stepped forward, offering Woody a handshake. Don't worry, we'll take good care of it. Woody shook his hand, his smile widening. I know you will. As the room settled into quiet, Buzz turned to Woody. So, what do you think? Heroes are just a bunch of misfits. Woody chuckled, leaning back against the wall. Both. But you know what? That's what makes them perfect for Andy. Buzz nodded, his gaze thoughtful. To infinity. Woody raised an eyebrow. Don't say it. Buzz grinned. And beyond. Woody groaned, but his smile remained. Good night, Buzz. Good night, Woody. The Avengers, Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the toys drifted into stillness, their positions carefully reset for the next day's adventures. Andy's world was safe, and his heroes, both old and new, were ready for whatever mission came next.